What is up, traders? Welcome to another episode of Forex Weekly Market Predictions. We got some really exciting stuff to take a look at structurally for the rest of this week. And today we're going to be looking at a couple of different pairs, including the Euro dollar and the Aussie dollar. We're going to be talking about the key levels of structure that we here at the trading channel will be paying attention to for trading opportunities throughout the rest of this week. I'm also going to give you guys a little blast from the past. We're going to take a look at last week's videos and the trading opportunities that we were taking a look at last week based on these structure levels. And I'm going to talk you guys through those trading opportunities and how they played out. We had a couple of wins and a couple of losses from last week's predictions, so we'll talk about each of those trades and also take a look at what we're looking at going forward on these pairs when it comes to key levels of structure. So if you're new here to the trading channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button and make sure to click that notification bell to be alerted whenever we come out with other weekly market prediction videos along with other free educational content here on YouTube. And if you'd like to receive content such as courses and trainings that we reserve for the trading channel community for free, then what you can do is head over to tradingchannel.net and sign up for our email list. While you do that, I'm going to go ahead and let the intro and disclaimer roll, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Alright traders, so let's go ahead and get started with this week's video. In last week's video, we were taking a look at a couple of different levels here on the Euro dollar. Right now we're on the Euro dollar 4-hour chart. And in last week's predictions video, we actually talked about our 1.2057 zone as being a possible shorting opportunity zone. And as you can see, the market pushed up into that zone. And as soon as we got there, this market fell over, falling back down to where? Right back down to our second prediction area, which was around 1.1886. And this zone is where we predicted a long trading opportunity, where we predicted that we could see this market push up from in last week's video. And we had every intention of getting involved if we got an entry reason at this zone, which we did. And we actually had a pretty nice trade from this zone that managed to bank in over 100 pips on target number 2s in the EAP. I'm going to go ahead and share that email analysis with you guys that was sent out to all members of the EAP. Here's that email, and as you can see, we had a Euro dollar 4-hour long on September the 14th. That was last week. The market pushed down to our potential long trading opportunity zone, and we went ahead and bought those up whenever we saw some buying pressure based on an entry reason we use at the EAP. As you can see, traders in the EAP program got a detailed description of why I was placing this trade, along with entry, stop, and target number 1 areas. Now if we head back over to the chart, you can see that that trade managed to play out, pushing down at first and getting about 10 pips away from hitting our stop loss. Never did hit our stop loss, and instead pushed back up, hitting that target number 1. And on Friday, we decided to go ahead and take off targets at this previous level of structure because we had the CPI coming out for the Euro early on Monday, and I didn't want to get caught in some kind of gapping situation. So we went ahead and took off profits here at this previous level of structure for around 100 pips on this trade. So as you can see, guys, this trade based mostly on structure-based analysis, which we talk about a lot here on these YouTube videos, along with some specific entry reasons that we use in the EAP. So as you can see, guys, the technical aspect of trading is quite simple. You know, finding a few different conditions, matching them with entry reasons in order to figure out when and how to enter the market. That's a pretty simple process that can normally be taught, that you can normally learn rather quickly. The problem most traders run into is not necessarily the technical aspect of trading. It comes with the psychology aspect. The problem most traders run into is the ability to stay disciplined to a specific trading plan. I see many traders that end up bouncing back and forth between strategy and strategy just after losing a couple of trades and thinking that one specific strategy doesn't work. So guys, if you are having trouble with either of those aspects of your trading, or if you just like to learn a little more about how I read the markets and the strategies that I use through a process like email analysis, like what you just saw, then what you can do is just click the link in the description labeled EAP Training Program to learn more about that program. Now, as for our Euro dollar predictions from last week, let's go ahead and take a look at a short clip that was pointing out these levels, and then we'll come back and talk a little more about these two trading opportunities. And after that, we'll take a look at the other key levels of structure that we'll be paying attention to for trading opportunities here on the Euro dollar for the rest of this week. So I'm going to play you guys that short clip, and I'll be right back. Now let's zoom back out to the daily chart and check out what we can expect next from the Euro dollar. Well, we are hovering around that same 1.2049 level. That level is a major resistance level out here on the daily chart, so we can be looking for shorting opportunities from here where we are. Opportunities. As for support, we'll go ahead and change the color of this line to blue, because now that the market is pushed above this level, this is going to be a level of support at 1.1886, and that zone's where we'll be looking for more long trading opportunities. in order to get involved. All right, guys, welcome back to the Euro Dollar, and here we are on that daily chart. And as you saw in last week's clip, this was our area that we were looking for shorting opportunities. As you can see, the market pushed down quite nicely from that area right into that area of support we talked about in the video clip in the last Forex market predictions video we released here at the trading channel. And as you can see, once we got down here, we've had a decent push up now of a little over 100 pips, which we took advantage of down on a lower time frame. So we got involved based on some buying pressure and an entry reason we used the EAP right around in this level and managed to bank in about 100 pips on that trade. So now let's go ahead and delete all this, and we'll put the chart back out on a daily chart to discuss the next levels of structure that we'll be paying attention to for trading opportunities throughout the rest of the week on the Euro Dollar. All right, guys, so here on the Euro Dollar, we have support, which we've just bounced off of at 1.1886, and that zone is our support level that we just bounced off of, and we're now pushing up towards this resistance level once more around 1.20577. Now, if the market breaks above 1.20577, possibly based on the interest rate decision we have for the United States this week, then we could see this market push all the way up to our next resistance level at 1.2295. In that zone, we may find some resistance for the market here on the Euro Dollar, and we may get a possible counter trend opportunity to the downside from this level. Now, another scenario we must think of is, what if this market breaks below our next support level at 1.1886? So that is our first level of support, but if the market breaks through that level, what we're going to be looking at is a pullback into that zone and another push lower. Now, the next level that could stop this market after that push lower is looking like 1.1645, based on some levels of structure we have looking left here on the daily chart. Now, below that, once more, we have 1.1453, which is the next level we'll be paying attention to for targets if we're in a short trade, and also for long counter trend opportunities if this market starts a new downtrend from either of these levels. So that's what we're paying attention to this week and on into next week here on the Euro Dollar. And on Monday, we'll be doing all this again. So make sure you're subscribed here to be alerted when that video comes out. That way you can keep up to date on these key levels of structure. For now, let's go ahead and move on to our next pair. The next pair we're going to take a look at today, and our last pair, is going to be the Aussie dollar. And on this chart last week, we actually pointed out the 0.8105 zone as a possible level to get short at. And we did point out the 0.802 zone as well as a possible level to get short at. We ended up being stopped out of a trade we took here, so we had one loser on the Aussie dollar, and then the market reacted to that level at 0.8105 pretty nicely, pushing down from there. So we'll take a look at last week's video first, talking you guys through these levels. Then we'll come back, talk through these trades, and take a look at the levels of structure that we're paying attention to going into the rest of this week for the Aussie dollar. So let's take a look at that clip, and then I'll be right back. Zoom back out to the daily chart and discuss the key levels of structure we'll be paying attention to for trading opportunities. Now, today we are hovering around this potential structure reversal zone. In this zone, we can be looking for reasons to go short on the Aussie dollar as a counter trend opportunity. And if this market does break and close above this zone and continue higher, our next level of resistance will be the 0.8105 zone. This is where we'll be looking for our next counter trend possibilities. And for our second level of... All right, traders, so here we are back on that Aussie dollar daily chart. As you can see, our first red box here indicates that first level of resistance where we were floating around last week. We ended up breaking above that level, coming into our next level at 0.8105, the level we discussed in last week's video, and pushing down directly from that level. So let's zoom down to a 4-hour chart and see what things look like down here on our trading time frame. So we had some good selling pressure coming out of this area that we discussed in last week's video. And last week we actually had a losing trade on this pair coming in around this next level here. So once the market had broken above this level in red, we changed that line to blue. It was about right in here, and we were waiting on a pullback into this zone for a long opportunity on this pair. We pulled back into that zone, and we saw some buying pressure from this area that gave us a reason to enter in a long trade, and we ended up being stopped out on that specific trade. But as you can see, we had a pretty good move down from our level of resistance up here. Now let's go ahead and zoom back out to a daily chart after deleting these zones and take a look at what we can expect out of the Aussie dollar going forward. So this market's currently pushing down, making this blue line here our new level of resistance, and pushing down towards our support levels that start around the 0.7886 zone. And that area is the first place we'll be looking for long opportunities off this pair. And if we continue lower, then we may look towards the 0.7807 zone for our next long counter trend opportunities. Other than that, if the market decides to push up our first level of resistance, will be around the 0.8020 zone. And above that, if we do break above that area, will be 0.8105 yet again, just as last week's video explained. And we'll be looking at those levels for shorting opportunities here on the Aussie dollar. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for the first part of this week's Forex market predictions video. Tomorrow we will be producing a video talking through the key levels of structure on the pound dollar, the dollar Swiss, and the dollar yen. So make sure you're subscribed so you're notified when that video comes out. If you want to be among the first to be notified when that video comes out, then go over to thetradingchannel.net. Go ahead and sign up for our email list. In doing so, we'll ensure that you also receive the other valuable content that we do not release here on YouTube. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, go ahead and leave me a comment in the comments section below and let me know. These videos do take me a fair amount of time to produce and edit, and I want to make sure that you guys are actually receiving value from them. So if you found this to be valuable, then make sure to click that like button for me and make sure to leave me a comment below. If you're struggling and you want a little extra help with your trading, then I've left a special link for the EAP Training Program in the description below this video. Click that to learn more about that program. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great rest of your week. I hope you trade green throughout this week. Stay disciplined, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.